What is happening, people? Steve Mayeda here. And I want to talk about this METOO backlash shit. How it's fucking shit up for both men and women. So the METOO movement and the backlash towards it, the failure that has once again happened with so many different extreme movement groups is that we had a problem and it divided us more than it brought us together. And here's what I'm saying with this is fundamentally the most important thing whenever there's hysteria around anything is we should just stop and cool down. It's not about a witch hunt. It's not about, men being more pissed off at women, women being more pissed off at men. It shouldn't be about danger. It should get back to the meaning of it. And we missed an amazing opportunity to be able to talk about sex, to talk about connection, to talk about what makes it work. Instead, there's fears defining consent. There's fears defining, relationships, marriage, sexual escalation, all these things which are so amazing in your life that we all are drawn to in some sort of way. And we found the answer in resisting them, And when it comes down to men and masculinity, we've forgotten to look for that answer in not what's motivating that fear, but in what's driving us and inspiring us and the fire within us. And we're looking at the pain that caused us to run, that caused us to put our guard up, that caused us to protect ourselves from women, from relationships, from the court systems, from the systematic persecution and now witch hunt of men, rather than how do we become better men to have more of the masculinity that will bring back and reset that femininity. And to be honest, I don't hear enough discussion from men who have actually found peace in sex and life. And I hear men having the conversation that have had fear and seek control and seek power and seek status and seek the drive for dominance that they always had in them but was taken away by society, and now they fight for it back. See, the real beauty about masculinity, the real beauty about your sex that you were born with, the real beauty about your testosterone, your dick, your balls, your urges, your rage, is not that you get it where you can get it. It's that you get it with where you walk in life. And sometimes that means it's in a place where it ain't so good. And sometimes that means there's a lot of adversity. And sometimes that means that you get fucked, but you still have you. You always have you. And rather than that, we build relationships. We build connections based on gossip with people online in your different forums and groups. And we think that's the fight that we have. We think that shit talking is the fight which makes us, when the fight is always where you're at. And sometimes in that fight, you need peace. We've become the mirror image of that woman who wants to have sex, who wants to be fucked, who wants to have her femininity and her sexual expression, but she tries to achieve it with controlling men, making rules, designing hysteria around expression because something didn't work out for her. Man, stop being a bitch, stop being a pussy, and realize where masculinity can take you. What is happening, people? Steve Mayeda here. And I want to talk about this METOO backlash shit. How it's fucking shit up for both men and women. Men's perspective, the thing that we cherish most, the thing which gives us our expression, it's fucking us up. And we gotta stop listening. We gotta start thinking in the right ways. So here's the thing. We got a bunch of women talking shit about men, sexual harassment, men taking it too far. And the bottom line is these dudes who are getting called out, and it's kind of old news at this point, are all dudes who didn't know how to be good with women. Their desperation, their shitty mindset on how they need to better themselves, man, force them to do some stupid shit around women. But then you throw some gasoline on the men's rights activist fire, the MGTOW fires, the red pill stuff. And let me just tell you, you guys in those groups, you're cool. I actually agree with almost every single one of your stats, your beliefs, all that sort of stuff. And if you took some time to know my story, you'd know why I think that. But it's men living in desperation. It's men not knowing their powers, their powers being sexual, and living in scarcity. It's fucked up. See, because the beautiful thing about men and women is when they both fuck each other, when they both totally fulfill their entire roles, they're good. They're good. And actually a lot of the red pill stuff is on that. But here's the dealio. Sex, expression, who you are doesn't have to be controlled, confined, or put in a box. It doesn't know power. It doesn't know status. It doesn't know any of these things. Society gave us that. We need to get back to the man who has a dick. We need to get back to the man who's biological, the man who has his sperm define who he is. His will define who he is. We can't blame society. We can't blame the government on taking things away from ourselves, because the one thing I know about masculinity is that when we can be a man who is not complaining about life, who's accepted what has happened to him, not because it's weak, but has accepted that because he doesn't want to fight that means nothing to his cause. And he wants to fight for the things that are worth it to him. His expression, his passion, his purpose, his power. The things that give him definition within himself rather than by society. That all being said, people, what does this have to do with all the METOO stuff? Well, I put up a video on this and obviously it got pretty popular. It got pretty known and pretty noted. And the interesting thing about it is that it caused more stir and gossip than it did a solution. See, I'm somebody that works within groups of men. I'm somebody that works as a coach because I love it, man, because that's what we do, because that is something that gives us so much of who we are. And Jesus, man, we're not doing that. We're dividing more and more. We're blaming more and more. We're getting so into this mentality that we can, man, show fault to other people for the problems in our life. And here's the thing, man. A lot of people have wronged me throughout my life. A shit ton of people have wronged me. But the best that I ever did for myself in so many ways absolutely had to do with when I stopped seeking blame in them and I moved on to my life. See, acceptance builds power that can't be broken. My body can be broken. My pocketbook can be broken. My mind can even be broken at times. But what saves my spirit, what saves everything that gives your masculinity power and worth, that thing that never goes away, man, if you don't want that to be broken, if you want that to remain strong, stop blaming. Find your solution within yourself. And find your solution with, God, man, the stuff which gives you meaning. And I'll tell you this, a bunch of people on Facebook, Reddit, whatever it is that you seek your support groups for that have full anonymity, that you don't even need to be accountable for any of those things, that shit doesn't give you power. And what gives you power is your fucking life, where your feet stand, and how you use what is given to you completely in your life, because that's what expression does. One of the few things that we have is choice. One of the few things that we have is the decision, choice, and determination to take what we got in our life today and make something of it. Man, the more I'm thinking about how I'm wronged, the less I can do that. So fuck that. Later. go. Let's go. Let's go.